Good morning, everybody. It is July 19th, 2017, and you're watching MarketStream.live, and we're taking a look at all of the open action in Europe. It has been a pretty decent morning in the European Union, but what's notable is that it looks like most traders on the continent are waiting for the ECB come out with their statement that's due out on Thursday. So there's some decent action, really kind of seeing some mixed action due to earnings. You saw that Electrolux and ASML came out, had great earnings, up 4%, but you saw Volvo missed and actually down and putting some pressure on the autos. So let's jump in and take a look. Taking a look at FEZ, looks like it's going to be opening up about 3 cents higher in the pre-markets here in the U.S. This is the ETF that you can utilize to track the 50 large cap stocks that are trading in the European Union over diverse marketplaces. Full disclosure, I do have my clients positioned in this ETF. Taking a look, though, first and foremost at the UK. Currently, you have the FTSE trading to the upside, up 30. That's good for about 0.4%. What's notable here is it's challenging and getting above that 20 and 50-day moving average. There's been a grind for the last week and a half. The English markets with the different data pieces that have been coming out, a little bit mixed. The expectation of what the ECB is going to be, even though they're 2 years out from Brexit, they still are going to be impacted by the decisions by the central bank. And so with that being said, you're seeing consumer names, home builders, all to the upside right now in the FTSE. That's been keeping the index to the upside and driving. Take a look at EWU pre-market. Looks like it's trading up about a penny here in the States. So that's the ETF that you can utilize to monitor what's going on in the UK. Taking a look at the French CAC. Now, the French markets have been trading to the downside under a lot of pressure. There's a little bit of uncertainty of what was going on with China, which is a huge consumer of a lot of their high-end products on the consumer side, the Louis Vuittons, L'Oreal, and so forth. The CAC right now is moving to the upside, and really what's notable is Mattel up and consumer names, as I had noted. Where there is pressure, though, watch the autos. After the Volvo announcement, you see names like Peugeot and Renault trading to the downside. We're going to see if that impacts the markets. Right now, the CAC trading higher, but still below that 20 and 50-day moving average. So we're still seeing the bulls pretty much so still knocked on their keister, so to speak. Watch EWQ this morning. Looks like it's going to open up flat. This is the ETF that trades in the States. You can monitor this for the French stocks. Now, taking a look at the German DAX. This is the largest economy in Europe. Right now, the DAX is trading in the green, but still, you can see that the performance has been to the downside. This has been a concern since we've seen this action. With the DAX trading to the downside, you're also seeing mixed action in some of the large cap names. SAP and Infiniron are up this morning. You have, though, banks like Commerzbank, Deutsche Bank trading to the downside, and you have also large cap names like Merck, BMW, and BASF all trading to the downside. So you got some mixed action going on in the DAX. This is going to potentially raise some flags, especially with the ECB, their statement due out on their policy. There is anticipation that they are going to put out some language that's going to lay out how they're going to ease back potentially on the quantitative easing. Also, watch their inflation statement. There's been a lot of mixed messages over the last couple of weeks on whether or not they believe that inflation, they're staunch that the inflation is just a blip in the radar. It's low right now, but they see that as just a short-term circumstance. The long-term perspective and forecasts are still that inflation is going to start rearing its head. Taking a look at the euro-US dollar, right now it looks like the dollar is firming up against the euro, but we'll have to watch this one closely. Also, watch the bond markets. Been watching these very closely. They've been moving to the upside pretty briskly. You're seeing the price action. So the bonds prices are going up pretty dramatically. Now they're grinding for the last 3 sessions, but still to the upside. What does that mean? That means that there is people actually purchasing these bonds, even though these yields, and some of them are just barely positive or negative. The 10-year right now in both Germany, France, and Great Britain are all trading to the upside in price action. As a matter of fact, British bonds are now challenging and above their 20-day moving average in price. That means those yields are coming down. Folks, that while we've seen our bond markets have been pretty correlated as far as price to our securities markets, we haven't seen that action in about a month here in the European markets. This is something that we have to keep an eye on, especially with the ECB and their policy statement coming out. So we're going to watch that very closely. All right, folks, that is it right now for On the Open Europe. I'll be back on at 8:30 Central, 9:30 Eastern Time. I'm going to be covering everything that's going on in the U.S. market. See you then at MarketStream.live.